Hey, what's poppin'? It's your boy Jay the Comedian. How y'all doing today? You know, I've told people before why I left the organization. I don't know if I ever really went into detail as to why I left the Jehovah Witness organization. Well, let me do that today because I don't know. It's been on my head lately, and I don't know if I ever really just sat down and explained it. So basically, okay, it all started when I was going to the meetings and whatnot. I was just like everybody else, just blind, not really knowing too much, just knowing enough to stay in. You know, that's kind of meanie. But one day, of course, you know, if everybody else knows, I was living a double life. The reason I was living a double life, period, was because I felt like I was gonna die. You know, I felt like this organization was not for me. And I was put inside this organization. I was born inside this organization, but I was not built for this organization. That's what I felt like. It was too good for me. And with that feeling in my body, I felt like, well, I'm gonna get destroyed anyway. I might as well live it up now, you know? And I did. It turned out to be a pretty good idea. I have zero regrets about it now. But yeah, I lived it up. I said, forget it. I'm gonna just hang who I want to hang with. I'm gonna have as much fun as I want to have. Now, don't get me wrong. I still did from time to time actually try to be a good witness. But for the most part, nah. It just wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy anything about it. I hated it. Oh my God, I hated it. But one day, right? So after I got reinstated, after I got this fellowship, I got reinstated back into the organization. And my reinstatement party, at the day I got reinstated, I banged a chick. That night, that very night, I came home. It was a party because I was living with two of my my double life squad members. We had this little apartment or whatever, and we was all staying together. And they threw a party for me. We had a little party that night. We drank, we smoked. We had a good time that night. We had a really good time that night. And my ex-girlfriend was there. And me and her had a really good time that night too. And I just remember thinking, because the weeks prior to me getting reinstated, like not even the weeks, because I was only out for 6 months. The months prior, like I probably tried to actually be a good Jehovah Witness for like the first month. And then I was like, nah, this ain't for me. I don't like it. But I do want to, you know, be able to talk to my sisters and my father and my mother and everybody. So, okay, I'm going to have to come back. So I got reinstated. I did whatever I needed to do to get reinstated, and I got reinstated. Put in my letter after 6 months. Of course, my letter was slicker than the back of a duck. And they read it. They're like, okay, I guess he's ready to come back. He's been at his meetings. He's been studying. You know, he's ready to come back. Or whatever. So I got reinstated. And after just living a life of debauchery or whatever, why would they reinstate me? Like, if God was actually running this organization and he was actually in charge over whether or not, you know, the right people come back, or whether or not somebody is actually repentant or not. I know people who were genuinely repentant, and their letters kept getting turned down. I put in one letter. That letter got, they like, all right, come on back. And I was the least repentant of anybody. So it really made me question whether or not this was God's real organization, whether or not he was really, you know what I'm saying, in charge of what they was thinking and doing. Because I thought he was. When I got the fellowship, I'm like, Jehovah finally got me, you know? But anyway, so I started to question him. And when I started to question him, I started to, let me tell you what happened. So I was online, right? And I was looking at some Black Israelite videos. Yo, these dudes, I don't know if you've seen any Black Israelite videos, but they are the worst, okay? On YouTube. Black Israelites, oh my God, they are the worst people in the world, but they are funny, and I found their videos entertaining. Not like I believe the stuff they say, but I did find them entertaining. And it was something that they said in one of their videos that really had me thinking like, that's actually a great point. They said that, yeah, Jesus had skin of brawn and hair of wool according to the Bible. I said, yeah, the Bible does say that. I don't know why this isn't a bigger thing, but yeah, and if we're really, the Jehovah Witnesses pride themselves on being accurate and detailed as far as what they believe, why is Jesus looking like an Italian brother in the Greatest Man book and all other literature? He looks like an Italian brother. He don't look like a skin of bronze and hair of wool to me. So I started asking questions about that, and I could never get a good answer. That was my question. You know how I say that like every Jehovah Witness have a certain question that they ask or they try to get answered? That was my question. And then when I started to look further, I'm like, why there's only one governing body member that's black? Look at that. Because it just really started to question whether or not, and then also around that time, like black people, of course, we're always having a rough time in America. We're having an especially rough time around that time. And I was questioning whether or not this organization was kind of racist. I was like, I don't know about this one, because this is another thing. I've also had the opportunity of going to a very, very poor Jehovah Witness congregation and going to a very, very rich Jehovah Witness congregation. And they are vastly different. As far as like the rich congregation, whenever they talk to them and their special needs or something, like the local needs, it's always about quitting your job. You know what I'm saying? And like sacrificing for Jehovah. Like, look, I quit my job for Jehovah. Oh, I took less hours for Jehovah. Oh, I left school for Jehovah. But in the poor neighborhood, it was like, oh, you got to maintain hope. You got to put forth more effort. Be out in the ministry. Jehovah got you. It was two different messages altogether, It was almost as if the people who were in the poor neighborhood needed more push. You know what I'm saying? While the rich people, it just needed it just needed to be talked to a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like at the time, it's like the more poverty affects you, the more religion affects you. The more poor you are, the more you fall for religion. Because in rich congregations, they didn't have all these long and crazy, talks and all these, it was just like irregular, just kept up. They were just trying to get money from the rich people, I felt like, They were trying to get money from them, and they was always trying to get them to quit their jobs, and, make less money and do more for Jehovah, But basically, I'm saying all this, I'm getting all the way off the subject. The reason I left the organization was because I had conversations and questions, and they never got answered. I kept asking them, they never got answered, and it took me stumbling onto some apostate videos to be like, wow, that's the answer I was looking for. If I'm being accurate, right? One day I just said, you know what? I'm gonna look at an apostate video. So I just put in apostate, right? This is how basic I am. I'm not that smart. So I put in apostate, and the first video that popped up is a video by an apostate chick. I don't know if y'all know her on YouTube. She hasn't made a video in a while, but that's the very first apostate video I've ever watched. And when she pointed out the stuff that she pointed out, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. What she said is making so much sense. Why didn't I notice that? Why didn't I think about that? It makes so much sense. It's one of those things where it makes so much sense you kick yourself for not immediately recognizing it in the first place. It was one of those scenarios. One of those scenarios. One of those situations. That's when you say scenario and situation at the same time. That's one of those scenarios. But yeah, man, I just, as soon as I heard her talk and I listened, I couldn't stop listening after that. Now I used to watch a whole bunch of other like videos by ex-Jehovah Witnesses after that, and once you start getting the information, there's no going back. That's why they don't want you watching apostate videos, because that's where your freedom lies. If I'm a warden at a jail, or if I'm just somebody that's holding somebody hostage, the last thing I'm gonna tell you is where the key at to free yourself. That's gonna be the last thing I tell you. I'm gonna tell you any and everything to keep you away from that key, you know? Because that's what they doing. They holding all these people hostage, and they're not gonna tell you where that key is. Actually, they're gonna discourage you, and you're gonna get in a lot of trouble if you go looking for that key. You know, that's kind of meaning. But yeah, I don't even think I did a good job of explaining why I left, but that's why I left. I'll do a better job next time, all right? Anyway, I hope y'all having a great day. In the comment section, tell me why you left. What made you leave? You know, I want to know. I'm reading them today, so let me know, all right? Subscribe if you haven't already. Holla at your guala. Deuces.